3, 2, 1. Wait a minute. Welcome to Roasting the World. We offer an adversarial perspective on today's cultural issues. We do it for the intelligent culture. I'm your host, Keenan Robinson, and we have a very special guest today I've known for, since she was probably 8 years old. Introduce yourself.
I am Brene Brion, an upcoming artist in Nashville. I've known you for a while.
Yeah. So, wow, it's good that y'all grown up, going to college. Shout out, doing that. But I see you're still in the music industry.
I am.
Tell us about what type of upcoming projects you have, what you're working on, things like that.
Well, we are obviously worked on like a couple of different tracks that I'm going to be posting on TikTok later, on all my socials. I'm working on a website. God has recently called me to ministry, so I've been leading that and spreading the gospel, so I'm really excited. Lately, I'm just being pulled back. And so, I've always written. I just never found the time to do like studio time.
Right.
But mainly, I've done that. I've been in a student film.
Okay.
Extra work, really loved it, but I'm just really trying to get back into the groove because God just like move.
Right. Absolutely. And you know what? It's important to be obedient. That's how I did my first film. I was like, I feel like God told me to do this. So, and I didn't know how to do it. But I knew if I was obedient, it's going to work, it's going to get done. So I met you because of Miss Mona. Because Mona from the Public Access Channel, she really helped kickstart all the things that I'm doing now, like 20 years ago.
Right.
Because she had her own show. She believed in me, got me shows, music videos, introducing me to like stars in the game. And that really kind of opened my eyes to it's bigger than just where we are.
Right.
You could always grow, you can expand. So shout out Mona because she was awesome and she still is awesome. I think she just celebrated her birthday, so happy birthday to her. So now when we think of music, what genre, because I know you mentioned God, are you like more like into the gospel era, or are you trying to like what kind of genre are you looking at?
Also, I'm very flexible.
Okay.
Because I grew up listening to everything. I've just now recently started getting into gospel. So like I would like to make a couple of songs like that, but mainly kind of like some of the stuff you heard today, like the melodic stuff, indie, love songs, just speaking from the heart truly.
Right.
And I feel like a lot of people when they hear like Christian music, they're thinking like, oh, the gospel, the gospel is great, praise Jesus. But but there's more to it, like that a lot of people, and I feel like the Christian artist music scene is growing, like Lecrae, I think there's this artist named like Lazarus, and it's not just like gospel worship, it's like R&B. Not just
it could be like I've heard some hard like hip hop songs and stuff. I do kind of inspirational music, but I'm kind of hood with it a little bit too because of my upbringing, where I come from, and my inspirations that I've had.
Right.
Like listening to Tupac and Trip 6 Mafia, 8-Ball, MJG, Twista, Nas, all my life, Snoop Dogg, So it's like it's hard for me to take the reality of what's going on in life out of my music. Yeah. I can't act like everything is peachy keen and beautiful and great. Yeah. Some songs, it's going to be like that, but not everything is like that, Right. So who are some of the people that kind of influenced you in your musical journey?
Growing up, it was a lot of the greats like Michael, Whitney, really just like the people that I listened to, because I grew up listening from old school music.
What kind of old school music?
Okay, we talking about like, not Marvin Gaye too much, not too much. Okay. But we was listening to like John B, Whitney Houston.
That's old school now, guys.
Yeah, like I was listening to like almost like anything you can think of.
Like old school, I'm thinking like the Temptations.
Yeah.
Or like
just people I can't even really like name, but it's like it's just there.
Right.
And I think one of the classes that I used to love in high school, which I think they took it out, like we were the last year to do it, but it was like pop culture, and I just loved sitting there learning about, because she based it off of like entertainment and music, so I love watching like old movies and appreciating old stuff, but also like she talked about like Woodstock and stuff like that, and watching that, and I just like appreciated the culture.
It was a way different era back then, so you know, but it's good to bring some of those things into the future because they had some things right. You know, if you listen to some of that music, like they were really feeling what they was talking about. Where nowadays it's kind of like, you know, did you really go through that? You know, because I don't feel it. You know, so you know, but you know, I wanted to bring you on, you know, just to kind of get your stance on the state of music in general. I know that there are a lot of different type of artists. Some people do this kind of music, some people do that kind of music. But overall, do you feel like our music is really pushing our culture in the correct direction? Do you feel like we need something here or there to help do that, or do you think it's failing us as a community?
Failing.
Wow, that was fast.
No, because it's like not even from like just the religious standpoint, but just like because God snatched me back. He did. So I came like I was not far because he's always there, but just trying to be a part of the world. He's like, no, you're not a part of that.
What does that mean? What does that look like?
It's kind of like I never really had like a close relationship with God, if that makes sense, but I always knew he was real. Like my faith in my heart was like he's there, but I just never like had the relationship with him. So when he like, because I started having like prophetic dreams and stuff like that, so when he brought me back, it became looking at how I used to be versus like what he's like growing me into. It's like it does nothing for us. Like the talking to multiple people, like, oh, I'm gonna sleep. How many bodies can I get in a day? Not doing anything for you.
Well, I mean, but that's what's pushed in popular culture, in our music, that get money fast. You know, men or women fast. You know, independence, not coming together as a community. And that's not everybody, but I see a big piece of that being like that. And some of the artists don't even really feel that way. They're just making the music because that's what the
agenda pushed.
The agenda that's being pushed. And how do we, you know, I mean, you're young, you still have time to be able to try to make some of those changes. And enact and, you know, activate or activism, whatever is called, some of those things. And I know you're doing that with your genre also, kind of being independent. But what will it look like for us to actually reach that point where we are uplifting or telling the truth about what you should be doing to move forward and grow?
I feel like right now, I don't know if you like paid attention, but like I think it's a beautiful thing where you have like so many artists like now, like even like not people who aren't artists, like Blac Chyna. I know like Joshua Bassett like recently came to Christ, so they're like none of this matters. It's like a full reset. They're like, I take back everything I did. This is the truth. This is the way, and it's like a beautiful thing. But I feel like if a lot more people would put down their pride in a sense, because I feel like a lot of people love being worshipped as far as like, oh, I can get this girl, I can get any girl I want, I got all the money.
Or you get attention.
Attention.
Like you're on social media, people are like, love, you know, DMing you, and people love attention. You know, people crave that, and it validates them, even if it's not real. Because people can have a filter on, a catfish you, and that's not even them, you know, but they getting the validation. They got 100,000 likes, they got 1 million likes, they got 1 million, you know, subscribers, and they feel like I've made it. But in real life, they're sad, you know, and I think we've really gotten into this social media thing. Even there's a debate now on whether America's going to like take down TikTok because there's an algorithm to where they're saying that they only give us stuff that's detrimental to our kids and mentally and emotionally. But in other countries, the algorithm is we're pushing greatness and robotics and engineering and mathematics. But over here they said, no, we're not going to push any of that. We're not going to give any of that push. We're only going to push things that are detrimental to the culture. That's warfare. Like, what are you doing? What are you trying to do? Like, what you know, like you trying to dumb us down so y'all could beat us in the smart race, or like what's the purpose of doing that?
I feel like if they are going to take TikTok down, because I feel like first of all that's just going to start massive, right? Because the people are going to feel like, oh, you're taking my freedom. But I feel like they should at least do what Canada, I think I saw somewhere, is doing, where they like shut it down for the government officials, if that makes sense. Because I think a big part of that was like people are like leaking like government information and starting like a ruckus. Although some parts might be true,
right?
It's like they still don't want that. They don't want the public knowing. They don't want the public going ahead. So it's like, at least, okay, if you're worried about that part, take it out on your view, not on our.
But what about like for our kids? You know, like kids? I think they were saying like you got to be at least 13 or 18. I can't remember which one it is to even have an account now. Well, that's what they're trying to get to, because a lot of kids are on there.
That would make sense. I mean, I'm not saying take it away for like the kids, but if you're like 16, 17, that's old enough, I feel like, because you're able on there.
Yeah.
Or at least like well, now never mind, because you can't control the filter.
I mean, they're now on YouTube watching everything crazy.
Yeah, because I was about to say, do something like how they have like YouTube Kids and stuff like that, and it's just straight filtered kid stuff on there. Yeah,
they could do that, that's for sure. And then put some educational stuff on there. Not that they don't have that, but that's not what's being pushed for the most part for us. And so, on today, I just wanted to give you an opportunity to talk to the people about, where you're going to be, what you're going to be doing, how to find you, plug yourself, say this is, whatever it is that you want to say to the people and your possible fans that are going to see this.
All right. My sisters in Christ, I see you, love you. We are going places. I am proud of the men's growth. And last night I got like the biggest compliment ever. Somebody told me, she's like, you're a great leader. We're praying for you. Because I was like, I'm in the middle of a storm last night. Storm was crazy.
Yeah. Well.
And I was like, I'm not scared. Because like, God is here, worship on. I see like it doing this. Yeah. And like normally like the average person would be free. Like, oh my God. I'm like, nah, I'm chilling. And they're like, you're such a great leader. You push us. And I'm like, thank you. So I love you. I'm glad that I'm doing my job. But socials, coming out with a website soon where I'm going to be doing blog ministry, but also posting like my demo reels and my music and events, hopefully, because I want to start a event where we like spread testimonies. I'm going to try to get Jesus Revolution, because I think that movie is really impactful. So be on the lookout for that. My socials are just Brene Brion.
You might want to spell that for them.
BRYNA BRIONE.
She almost forgot how to spell her name.
No, because I almost said 0. But yeah, other than that, like I do lives on there, kind of not preaching, but like Bible study sometimes, really just showing the love of Jesus and stuff like that. But also like I'm starting back vlogging. I'm going to try to get back into auditions and stuff like that.
Well, we do music at Nothing Without God Production, Inspirational Life Films, so look for her in some of our new productions that we're going to be coming up with. Also on the soundtrack, we got a song that we kind of are working on right now that's kind of dope. We're gonna not even teaser that. We just gonna hold that back, So next time, maybe we can get you performing, or I got some footage of you in the studio and stuff like that. So that'll be kind of dope. So at Roasting the World, we have what's called roasted or toasted.
Right.
If you roast something, that means you toss it in the fire. We don't ever need to talk about it again. Okay. It does not push our community. If you toast something, that means we need to have a more robust conversation about it and really kind of dig into the issue because it's affecting our community. Right. So as far as music, the state of our entertainment, do you feel as if we need to have a more robust, or we need to just keep it like it is? So do you roast that or toast it, and why? And you got a couple minutes to tell the audience why it's important to feel however you feel.
I definitely toast it.
Okay.
Especially speaking on like the specific, if you've seen it, like the New York City drill community. Mm-hmm. Toast it. Why? Because you're dragging innocent people into it. Right. Like people who have no business in that life. Like obviously I feel for the people that it helps.
Right.
There's one side of it.
Right.
But it's an issue when it's coming across like Jimmy on Thompson Street and he's just straight A's, and then he starts falling from that.
Right.
And then if they're picking a side and they don't know really nothing about the politics of it,
right,
innocent people are getting killed for no reason.
So we need to continue to talk about that so we can try to help our community grow.
Yeah.
And I also want to toast the subject matter, because I know that there's been a political a specific political agenda to push a certain type of music in our community. And I know that like things that are more conscious, especially back in the day, they were more prevalent, but nowadays I think the powers that be saw the political impact that has and the power that those people wield when they have the ear of the streets and of the community and of the people. So we just need to continue to have a robust conversation about, ways to make our music more impactful, because it reaches so many people. And there are times, working in education, where little kids are able to quote every word from the song, but they don't know how to read. Yeah. And I think that's a failure some way. Maybe we can, like I saw, shout out Snoop Dogg, because he's made educational videos for kids and stuff like that, and I really think that's dope. But we need more stuff like that for our kids, because they're listening, and we need our parents to be kind of more accountable for what they allow our youth to be able to be exposed to. Because I hear a lot of parents say, well, I don't want to hide anything from my kids. I mean, you absolutely need to hide your kids from, it's protecting them from some of the stuff that is not good, so I just feel like that's something that we need to continue to grow and work on. We need to like I've been an active father, we got active mothers out here. We need to have a set agenda on ways that we're going to teach our kids our real history, what real music sounds and looks like, and to be able to filter out the things that are not serving us.
Yeah, because about the not hiding anything from people, it's not necessarily hiding, because I feel like it's good to not hide anything, because when you're overly sheltered, it's like you're not actually prepared. But there are conversations that need to be had that just because they're doing it don't mean nothing. This isn't necessarily okay.
It's not what we're doing over here at my house. What I mean?
Like not even that, because it's just like not the because it's more or less like I'll see people who will just like be fine, and then just because that's the intake, they're not understanding or registering how this is impacting them. And I think that's an important conversation. Like, okay, I'm not going to hide this from you, I'm not even going to restrict it, because I noticed a thing growing up is when you restrict something, you're going to do it anyway. They're going to find ways to do it, and kids are sneaky these days. So it's like parents, especially because I'm a teacher too to an extent, but I was like, parents will complain that their kids are bad or have bad behaviors, and then have that, like, I don't hide anything from my kid, but you're not having these conversations and kind of enforcing the law where it's like, hey, this is happening in the world, but this is not the way to go. Right.
I agree. So, I want to thank you again. Big shout out for coming on to the podcast and being in the studio, dropping some of her new music. So I do that too on the love. Not everybody can come to the studio, but yeah. So I really appreciate that. Shout out, and when you get some new stuff, we'll come. Maybe debut some stuff, let you sing on here, whatever you want to do. Whatever you're comfortable with. Tell everybody I said what's up. You want to give a shout out to anybody?
Shout out to my brothers in Christ who helped me really understand my purpose and help me lead with God. Brother Jamel, he's a prophet. He's a great prophet. Brother Stevie, love him to death. Thank you for showing me how proud of me you are as well, and just teaching me what I needed to know, and being that source of open communication that I can ask for advice. Definitely.
Absolutely. Well, until next time, stay ready so you don't got to get ready, and stay tuned for another exciting episode of Roasting the World.
You guys.
Peace.
That was cute.
And we did 19 minutes, so that was good.
That was good.